Recently, Disney showcased the Doctor Doom light show at its marketing expo in Shanghai. I already gave you a breakdown of that light show, and while we discussed many details, one important detail slipped past us. This detail might actually clarify where, with whom, and why Doctor Doom is going to fight in Avengers Doomsday. And in all of this, Wakanda seems to play a very important role. In that light show, we even saw Doom sitting on a throne that had a panther-like symbol. Plus, the Black Panther logo was separately highlighted. Now, Doctor Doom, Black Panther, Wakanda, and Vibranium are all connecting very well through a storyline known as Doomwar. It is said that elements from this storyline will be adapted into the Avengers Doomsday movie. To understand this, we need to first understand what Doomwar was all about. Doomwar is a storyline where Doctor Doom and Black Panther clashed in a massive conflict that shook the very identity of Wakanda. This 6-issue limited series from 2010 had a huge impact on Marvel, after which the status of Wakanda and Black Panther in the comics was permanently changed. The core plot was that Doom wanted Vibranium, but his reason wasn't as simple as making weapons like others. Doom wanted Vibranium because it could manipulate mystical energy and the very fabric of reality. If he gained control over this, he could become an immensely powerful being, which is exactly what he aims to become in Avengers Doomsday. That's why elements from Doomwar will be used in the movie. Now, before diving into what happened in Doomwar, we need to understand the context. This story is set during the Dark Reign era, a time when the Marvel Universe was in chaos. Norman Osborn had formed his team of supervillains called the Cabal, which included Doctor Doom, Namor, Emma Frost, the Hood, and Loki. In the middle of this chaos, Wakanda found itself in a very critical position. Namor invited Black Panther, T'Challa, suggesting that he join Osborn's Cabal, since many powerful figures had already joined, so that Wakanda would remain safe. But T'Challa refused outright, because for him, principles and loyalty to his nation came before everything else. Doom, however, did not take T'Challa's rejection lightly. He personally went after T'Challa with his army, fully prepared for battle. T'Challa, on the other hand, only brought along the Dora Milaje. The clash was brutal, and although Doom had come with full preparation, the Dora Milaje risked their lives to somehow bring T'Challa back to Wakanda in critical condition. Once there, we see that T'Challa fell into a coma with very little chance of recovery. Wakanda was left vulnerable. When its king and protector were missing, it naturally drew the attention of the world, since the Earth's most valuable metal was found only there. To fill this gap, Shuri was made the new Black Panther. In the comics, T'Challa's sister is not only a genius scientist and strategist, but also a warrior. She was officially crowned Queen of Wakanda. She wasn't just a placeholder. She was given full powers and responsibilities. Now, Wakanda's leadership was in the hands of a young, strong, and innovative queen. But with that came challenges that required experience. Taking advantage of this, a new political faction rose inside Wakanda, known as the Desturi. This tribe hated outsiders and wanted Wakanda to return to its old ways, isolated from the outside world. Their influence kept growing, causing division among the people, and Wakanda as a nation became weaker. When Shuri became Black Panther, this division became more apparent, and the Desturi began attempting to take over Wakanda. This is where the main Doomwar story really begins. Storm, who at that time was T'Challa's wife and part of the royal family, was also targeted by the Desturi. For them, Storm was an outsider, and her mutant powers combined with her foreign origin made her look suspicious and an easy target. So, right at the beginning of Doomwar, the Desturi put Storm on trial. She was accused of treason, witchcraft, and crimes against humanity. When Storm refused to cooperate, she was imprisoned. At this point, T'Challa and Shuri realized things were slipping out of their hands. They planned to rescue Storm and protect Wakanda from Doom. For this, they sought help from the X-Men. T'Challa and Shuri approached the X-Men and explained that Doom was secretly supporting the Desturi inside Wakanda. Apart from this, Doom had secretly mixed nanites into Wakanda's food and water supply. Because of that, every Wakandan had unknowingly become a walking camera for Doom. Even Storm was a victim of this, which is why T'Challa and Shuri didn't reveal anything to her about Doom's plans. T'Challa reveals that Doom doesn't just want some vibranium, he wants all of it. Because vibranium doesn't just absorb sound waves or kinetic energy. It also amplifies magic to an extreme level, something that Wakandans themselves have never fully mastered. But T'Challa suspects that Doom has discovered a way to fuse vibranium with magic. That's why they need to stop him as soon as possible, because if Doom gets his hands on that much vibranium, he will become an unstoppable being. T'Challa, Shuri, and a small X-Men team plan a counterattack for Wakanda. Both Panthers and the X-Men fight bravely and finally manage to free Storm. But Doom remains focused on his ultimate goal, securing control over vibranium. He steals Wakanda's vibranium and establishes factories around the world, where he creates Doombots and vibranium-enhanced tech. After this, Shuri and T'Challa turn to the Fantastic Four for help in destroying these global factories. These weren't just factories of metal and machines. They were a deadly fusion of Doom's science and vibranium. The battle becomes extremely tough, with both Black Panthers and the Fantastic Four giving their all. Deadpool enters the fight as a wild card, having been secretly recruited by T'Challa. Reed Richards also brings War Machine into the conflict. But despite all of this, nothing seems to make a significant difference. Doom upgrades his suit with vibranium, becoming even more powerful. In fact, he even claims that he has tapped into the power cosmic once wielded by Silver Surfer. But compared to his new powers, even that seems small. This makes it clear that vibranium combined with magic is an incredibly deadly combination. But T'Challa makes the ultimate move. Using a device, he renders all the vibranium in the world inert. In a single moment, all vibranium becomes useless. After this, Storm destroys the remaining Doombots, and the rest of the heroes help Wakanda rebuild. The biggest consequence of Doomwar was that vibranium was no longer usable. Wakanda was then forced to rebuild its nation with a new economy and new resources. Now, this entire story shows us two important things: Doom's attack on Wakanda and his attempt to unlock vibranium's mystical abilities that can take him beyond even the power cosmic. This is exactly the kind of power Doom would need to pursue in Avengers Doomsday. At the end of that light show, we saw shards with different logos. As I explained in my breakdown video, these shards represent different universes, just like Marvel's What If series. Each shard having a different logo means that they represent different universe teams. For example, one shard had the Avengers logo, representing the Avengers from the main MCU. Another shard had the Fantastic Four logo, likely Earth 828's Fantastic Four. One shard showed the X-Men logo, hinting at an X-Men team from another universe where Monica Rambeau exists. And one shard had the Black Panther logo, meaning another universe's Wakanda and its own Black Panther. This actually makes sense, because why would Marvel highlight the Black Panther logo separately if he is already part of the Avengers? It seems clear that Doom will face Wakanda in another universe. This also solves a big problem for Marvel. They can introduce a new Black Panther without conflicting with the main storyline. We even saw a Black Panther in the concept art for Doomsday. And speaking of Doom tapping into vibranium's mystical potential, this could absolutely happen. I even suspect that Shang-Chi's 10 rings might actually be mystical vibranium rings from another universe that somehow ended up on Earth, 616 in Wenwu's hands. Maybe I'm reaching too far, but overall one thing is clear: Doomwar will happen, and it will happen in an alternate universe's Wakanda, where we might see a brand new Black Panther. But what do you think about this storyline? And is this theory about an alternate universe Wakanda solid? Let's talk about it in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys.